Yo, that was kind of a awkward little 30 seconds right there, wasn't it? But anyways, obviously by the title, the description, you know what we're doing here. So I've made this video before. I made this back when I did the Vega swap, which is, I think it's been over a year now. I don't remember. But I get questions about that video here and there. Some people still commenting on it here and there. I see a lot in the LS groups of people not knowing. Well, for one, people just being very scared of this wiring stuff, which I was the same exact way when I first got into the LS swap stuff, because I used to really just want to do carbs because one, they used to be cheaper, but now that these harnesses are so cheap, it's actually cheaper to keep the factory EFI than it used to be. It's actually more expensive to go carb unless you find a whole carb kit, which means the intake, the MSD box, and the carburetor all together for a good price. So I just want to remake this video kind of like a 2.0 where I kind of, I don't want to say dumb it down, because I'm not saying you're dumb because you can't hook this up. I mean, everybody starts somewhere. So let me help you start here so you can do it. And I'm telling you, once you do one harness, once you get it all hooked up, you're like, damn, that was it? It was that easy? So let's just kind of use my daily for reference, because this is an Amazon eBay harness. And what I've been running on my daily for 2 years is an Amazon eBay harness. Well, technically I got it from Amazon, but eBay sells the same exact harnesses. The swaps on my channel, all but two, have an Amazon eBay harness. That Caprice that was brought to me already swapped. That owner had put the BP automotive harness on it. And the last 69 Camaro I did had a BP automotive harness that I put on it. All the other ones have all been Amazon eBay harnesses. So the biggest thing that I want to start with is here. So the most important part of this whole harness is this. Usually they're pink, but this little red wire coming from the fuse block. This is your ignition relay. See, it's got all the red wires and the black wire to it. This is what powers everything, including the ECU. You want this red wire to go to key on power plus power while cranking. So you can actually, in that Vega video where in that videos of the Vega where I initially made this type of video, there's an instance where I had this running to a wire, an existing wire from the car that was getting key on power, but it wasn't getting key on cranking. So it wasn't getting any spark, so it wasn't running. And that's kind of a spoiler if you haven't watched those videos. But you want to make sure key on power and key on cranking. On all these old school cars, I'll run that wire directly to the fuse block in the car under the dash to the accessory prong. So it should say ACC above it or below it. Or any prong you can find, or any existing wire you can find that gets key on power and key on and power while cranking. Those are the two most important ones, or two most important things for this to work properly. Because if you don't have key on power, obviously you're not getting power. If you don't have power while cranking, then you're still not getting power to where you need to get it to for the harness to turn on the sensors and whatnot. So that is the most important one. Next is your fuel pump. So the only reason I like BP Automotive's harnesses, I'd say more than the Amazon harness, which I prefer these just because they're so cheap. But BP Automotive is $500. This one was $130, which is cheaper than it was when I actually did this swap. The harness was $230 when I did this swap, but this is the fuel pump relay. So I believe, I don't use this relay for fans, but I believe you can use it for fans if you want to, or fuel pump. I always use it for the fuel pump. So all it is you have the two open prongs right there and right there. One of those prongs will take key on power. Key on power. Remember, key on power. And the other prong on the bottom will take the power wire directly from the fuel pump. And that's all you do. And that's your relay for the fuel pump, so that when you turn on the key or flip your switch to turn on the power for the harness, your fuel pump primes and does everything. This controls your fuel pump. It's just that simple. This is your body harness ground, which will be in the same loom as all this stuff. You got to make sure that's a good body ground, which I have somewhere. Mine is somewhere in this vicinity, but not gonna waste time trying to find it. Just make sure this is got a good connection on your body, meaning throw it somewhere on the body. Make sure you clean it up with your wire wheel or something to get bare metal. Bare metal is the best for grounds. And that is power and ground for your fuse block and ECU. So we have your ECU plugs. Obviously we see blue and red. Blue and red means drive-by cable throttle body, drive-by cable ECU. Blue-green means drive-by wire throttle body and drive-by drive-by wire ECU. So you have to make sure those three things match. You want harness, computer, throttle body to match each other. So drive-by cable harness, drive-by cable computer, drive-by cable throttle body. Drive-by wire throttle body, drive-by wire computer, drive-by wire harness. Try saying that fast 3 times. Next, so these harnesses practically just lay these over onto the engine, and they basically line up to where they need to plug in. So let's separate it. So we got all your electrical powering, grounding stuff. Let's throw that off to the side, and let's get directly into the harness. So we have your 2 main power wires. These go to the big post of the starter. Just right there in loom with that. See what I mean by in loom is it's taped with it. That will be your crank sensor plug. They're always that close to each other because they both go down there to the side of the block. You have your starter right there. Big lug of starter. Right above the starter, next to it, is your crank sensor, and this is your crank sensor plug. So plug that in. This funky looking guy, 4-prong, that is your O2 sensor for the passenger side. So when you put this on, everything in this loom is passenger side. This is passenger side. See this big split right here? This is passenger side, goes towards your fuse block and your computer plugs. And then to the right of that split is your driver side, which will be this big bulk of stuff, which is your water temp, your alternator, so you have your water temp over here. That's here's your water temp. Here's your TPS, throttle position sensor, IAC, intake air control. Here's your injector plugs. There's 4. Here's your main coil pack harness. So here you have, well, my alternator's on this side, so kind of a little bit different from what yours might be. Factory spots, alternators over here. So you have alternator. Your alternator is going to be this one. Some of them have a red and brown wire. Others have just a red wire. Just plug it in, nothing else. This is your water temp sensor. It's typically in loom with the alternator plug. Here is your throttle position sensor. It's that round one. And then this one is, and then, nope, that's your, okay. And then this is your mass airflow sensor. Has all the pretty colors. I don't know why I skipped it, but this is your IAC. It's right there in Loom with your TPS. Now where am I? Kind of already forgot what I was doing. But yeah, all these. So that split right there, driver's side. Split right there, passenger side. It's really hard to get these plugs messed up because they're pretty specific for which plug they go into. So the only ones I can really see somebody getting mixed up with is the crank sensor and the cam sensor. See how they're the same exact one? But you'll know it's the cam sensor because the cam sensor is on the back of the engine. And when you put this harness on, this literally just falls right to the cam sensor because it runs behind the engine. Your map sensor is always the really long one. Where is it? Is it driver's side? No, it's this. No, not that one. Here we go. Nope, not map sensor. Oh, that's transmission. We'll get there in a second. Let's throw you out of the way. Oh, map sensor. Where art thou, map sensor? O2. Is it you? No, the mass airflow. I believe it's you. I believe this one's map sensor. So you can get that one mixed up too. But this is map sensor. It'll be over here with the driver's side loom. Because map sensor is always on the back of the intake. So when you put this on, you know what? How about I just look and make sure I'm telling you guys the correct one. Every time I do the harnesses, I lay it out and everything falls into place. So that's why I'm getting. So map sensor, we got dark gray, green, and orange. Let's find dark gray. Nope, not you. Dark gray, green, and orange. Where you at? Don't be that guy. Injector, injector. This all goes to the front. I swear the map sensor is always in line. Map sensor's always with the passenger side. That's what's not making any sense right here. Oh, you're hiding. That's why. I found you. So right here, map sensor. It's with the passenger side. It's on the passenger side. I knew I was starting to worry myself there with as many of these as I've done. I knew I was right. So map sensor, passenger side. Gray, green, orange. Let's double check. Make sure I was right. Yep. Gray, green, orange. Okay. Also LS1 intake. The map sensor is a different map sensor, so you can't use a truck map sensor on an LS1, LS6 intake. Just saying. Just so you're aware. So we got map sensor, cam sensor, crank sensor, O2 sensor, battery wires, or if you want to call them battery wires, just the main harness wires on the passenger side. On the driver's side, you have throttle body, water temp, alternator, and then of course O2 all on the driver's side. And both sides have injector plugs, which we will get there next. This is a big part of your harness working is this ground. So you have the chassis ground, which is on this side of the harness, which is for the fuse block. And then you have the engine ground, which is for the rest of the harness. And this goes on the back side of the head. You can really just put it anywhere on the engine, but where it's lengthwise, where the harness is, how it's set up, is to go on the back of the head. And then you have, these are all your injector plugs. They're all the same. They're all the same. This is your coil pack harness plug, which I showed you right here. Connects right into your coil packs. The difference with this Amazon, eBay, cheap harness is they are set up for car intakes and car injectors, meaning car injectors are EV1 injectors and car intakes are just shorter and kind of more compact. So this harness is more compact. So it's a little tight back here where you put on the ground to the head, but aside from that, I mean, it fits and it works. This is the same exact harness I have on here. So you want to, if you're running a truck intake like I originally was before I switched the car intake, you want to get the harness with the EV1 to Multec adapters. Your truck intake has Multec injectors, which Multec EV1. That means the connection, or my point, I'm not even, where the connection where on the inside of the injector that the plug attaches to, they're different. So you get these adapters, which they come with the harness. You'll see them in the picture when it's advertised. And you just take one end and you connect it to the injector side or injector plug side on the harness, and the other end goes to the injector. But if you have a car intake, LS1, LS6 intake, you don't need the adapters, obviously. It just plugs right in. What I did to kind of make that, give that a cleaner look, is I just run, you can turn these injectors, they're not like stuck in there. You can turn them and stuff, and I'll kind of turn them to where I can hide the wires under the fuel rail. Just basically like this. Sorry, my car's dirty. It gets driven every day. So you guys are going to ask me a million times for a part number to the exact harness I use, and I'm not sure they gave me one. No, I'll put it in the description for you guys. Then if say you want to run, say you're running let me backtrack. This is for Gen 3. This is Gen 3 only. This is not Gen 4, Gen 5. Gen 3, late 99 to very early 2007. I definitely should have said that in the beginning. But anyways, where was I? I just went blank on where I was. I was going to say something important. What else? You got your transmission. There's 2 plugs. This is for an automatic transmission. So this is the main harness plug, goes on the side of the transmission. This is your VSS plug. It goes on the tail shaft housing sensor, which is your VSS sensor. It's on the tail shaft housing. And that's it. That is hooking up this harness. I know I kind of made it a tad bit longer than it needed to be, but I just wanted to be kind of a little bit more thorough, as where I think I was not so much confusing people in the original video I made, but I think I just wasn't as thorough. Man, there was something else I was going to say. Don't remember. But say you're going to hook up a manual transmission. You can still get a harness set up with an automatic transmission. You just don't plug it in. The only thing you have to do is make sure that your computer is set up for a non-electronic transmission. Okay, now I remember what I was going to say. It pertains to that also. If you go back in my videos and you go to the video that says cheap or basic? Damn, that's pretty bad. Cheap or basic LS swap parts, one of the two. I give you parts, descriptions, links to all this stuff. So if you're going to run this harness, I give you links to the O2 sensors to use, the injector adapters, the mass airflow sensor. I give you the entire list, and that is the list that you need to just plug everything in and get it running. But that is a basic swap. If you cam your engine, it has to be tuned before it'll run. It'll either run very, very shitty, or it won't run at all. I learned that twice back in NAMM. And by NAMM, I mean the C10 build I did on the channel and the OBS build I did on the channel. So that is it. I don't see anything else harness related. we could go through these real quick. So another important one is this. Oh, I don't know why I was about to skip over this. This purple wire. That it's the only purple wire. It's just all bundled up, so it looks like there's multiple ones. That purple wire is very important if you're running an automatic transmission. And of course, I just now thought about this. So let's make this video longer than it needs to be. Looking for a brake switch that I have somewhere. Let's see if it's in the... Oh, I scratched my car. Damn it. Now my paint's going to be all messed up. Okay, let's see. Oh, it doesn't give me a picture for the... I want to show you guys a picture. There's pictures. So there's your fan relay. Yeah, so it could be a fan or fuel pump. That relay I was telling you about, that you just plug in the two wires. Okay. I want to show you... I know I have... Oh, come on, Anthony. Having these people sit here and watch more than they need to. I think I threw all my instructions away for all the other harnesses I used. And of course they all had the picture of how to hook up the brake switch. So let me... I really want to show you guys, because visual learning is how I learn. Because I'm an idiot. I don't read books. I read picture books. Which means I don't read, I look at pictures. I may just have to make that a separate video. But it's so short that I don't want to have to make a whole fucking 5-minute video on hooking up your brake switch. But it looks like that's gonna be what I do. So we'll skip past that one. I'll make another video, or you let me know if you would like me to make a video on hooking up your brake switch. It's stupid simple. It would literally be a 3, 4, 5-minute video max. But I want to show you visual on how to hook it up rather than just sitting here telling you and you trying to picture it in your head, because you're obviously here because you haven't seen it before. So this white wire though, that white wire is your tachometer wire. So if you want to hook up a tach, you just run that wire to whatever tach you want to use. The other wires is like cruise control and all that fancy stuff as poor folk or dumb people like me don't use. Just one less thing. That is it. Let me know if you want me to show you a brake switch video. That could be something that maybe helps. I don't know. I actually haven't come across people asking me about hooking up the brake switch. So anyways, that's it. Hope that video helps. Hopefully it's a more in-depth, more thorough video as far as what goes where and whatnot. That's really it. I keep saying I don't have anything to post, but here I am. Keep posting every day. So I'll maybe see you guys tomorrow, next week, next month, if I'm alive. Anyways, go grab a sticker. Appreciate y'all watching. If you got any questions, get me down in the comments. I need you to like, subscribe, comment. We're almost at 10,000. 10,000 people subscribe to this ridiculous YouTube channel that's just LS stuff for now. One day, it will not just be LS. We will do all old school cars, and we will, I don't know, drive some rusty shit or die probably. Anyways, see you guys next time.